We're gonna call for the approval of the minutes. I guess I need a first and a second.
Approved. Approved. Move to approve or whatever.
Okay, do we have a second?
A second.
Okay, Melissa. By the way, who is the recording secretary today? Chris, okay. Okay, any comments, any questions on the minutes? I had one. Hang on a second. Anybody else? Okay. I have on on the first page, number 5, discuss committee positions. I'm chair, co-chair, no one appointed. Actually, Chris and Melissa are going to alternate co-chair and recording secretary.
Got it. All right. Thank you.
Okay. Any other questions or changes on the minutes? Okay, all in favor of the minutes being approved?
Aye.
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 Any opposed? The minutes are approved. Oh, that was the minutes. Oh, I guess I forgot to call for the approval of the agenda. A little out of order.
I'll move to approve approve the agenda.
Okay.
Second.
All
I
right.
second.
All right, Laura seconds. Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, so we have now approved the agenda and the minutes. Oakland County Senior Advisory Committee, table until further notice. Items of business, Senior Contact Outreach Initiative. That's table until further notice. Amy, can you explain what that means even? It keeps showing up on our agenda.
Which one?
Senior Contact Outreach Initiative, table until further notice.
That was the flyer that you were going to distribute by hand.
Right. And then we printed it, and then it was kind of dated, and then we didn't do it. Okay,
Yeah.
got it.
Okay.
Okay, does everybody understand what that was? It was kind of from last fall. We were going to send out a flyer to seniors, about 700 seniors, listing all the different city services, this, that, and the other thing, everything going on around the town for seniors. And it's got printed a number of the things. There were some omissions, there were some wrong numbers, this and that, and it wasn't ready for prime time. So it's tabled until, and now we've done a lot of other things. So I don't know that we're actually going to do that because we've already had the mailing out with the water bills and whatnot, directing people to different services, and we've got a very enhanced Herald going out for the next few months, and we've changed that. So, okay.
Can I ask,
Has a,
am I allowed to ask now? I don't even know. It's not part of the committee. Am I allowed to ask a question?
As regarding that particular item?
Yes.
Okay, go ahead.
Well, you
Hi,
just said, so this was tabled, a list or whatever this was, a document that would state all that was going on that was pertinent to seniors in particular, or just residents in general?
It was pertinent to seniors, but there were too many errors on there to send it out.
Okay, I actually would like to see if that could be addressed again. I think that would be helpful to see what the city is providing for seniors.
Lenny, and it wasn't a matter of errors. It was a matter of services that we aren't currently providing, like transportation.
Because of COVID.
So until those services come back online, we didn't want to send
Yeah.
information out saying, call this number for transportation, because we aren't offering it right now. So it was more services that are on hold because of COVID.
Could it not be just listed and then just something on the side saying delayed due to COVID?
right.
You know, those things that are going on, because I guess I'm unclear about all that is being offered, even if it's not current, what is intended to be offered in the future when we can start being close together again. I don't know if anybody else feels that way, but you know, I get I get involved with certain things, but I'd like to know what's out there. And I have personal reasons for that. And I would think that speaking for other seniors, I don't think that they are aware. I have other friends my age and they don't know what's going on. So I would appreciate it if you could address that again.
It's a
The
fair
fact that we
point.
were gonna hand deliver them,
Oh.
make me reluctant to do it twice. You know, once now, and the 60+ crowd has a list of, you know, all the services that we are currently providing.
Do we?
I could
Do we
send you what,
60s? Do we 60s plus people that I know who attend with me? Do we have a list of things that are currently going on?
I thought
Claire.
the 60 plus was on hold too.
it's coming out shortly.
Oh, it is.
Oh, you mean in terms of the formal 60s plus newsletter?
Yep.
Right.
Okay, I didn't realize
Is that right, Jen? Isn't Colette looking at one right now?
I believe so. Yeah,
Okay.
I don't know the dates, but I can get that to you.
Okay.
Yeah, I just, somehow or other, I'd like to see something like that. What is out there for us?
Sounds like something that ought to be in the 6+ newsletter on a regular basis.
Yeah, it should, but we, you know, again, we've been delayed with the newsletter. So, yeah, because I'm not familiar with what all's being put out there. Even if it's delayed, I'm still not aware of it.
Anybody else? All right, we'll look and see what we can do with that. U of M report subcommittees. That's also something that we've kind of spent a lot of time talking about in the past, and we've moved on from that. Was there a reason why it's still on the agenda?
Yeah, it's still on because we are still looking at the transportation program where we would have a dedicated bus route. And so that's something that's still in the works.
Okay.
Lenny, it's Tracy here. Can I just interrupt for a second? I just checked with Colette and the next 60 plus newsletter is going to be going out in September.
Oh, sorry, I was way off.
You know, it's there. It's in the, I mean, they're working on it now and when she turns over the reins to Bridget with it. So Bridget's learning how to do the whole process. So they are working on it now,
But it is, but
Next one will
there
be
is one
in-
going out for April, May, June, July, August, I believe.
that's the Hometown Herald.
Hometown Herald.
Yeah,
Right.
that's the citywide newsletter. That's
Right.
coming out
That's-
soon. Yep.
But all
And
the
that
60
basically
plus-
will have the same information that does go in the 60 plus as well. So
Susan,
you'll
to address your
see
point,
there.
all that 60 plus stuff will be in this next Hometown Herald.
Mhm.
There you are. Okay.
Sorry for interrupting, Lenny. I just wanted to make sure we got that out there.
All right. So the 60 plus is not coming out till September, but the Hometown Herald is coming out in a few.
Is it a
couple
complete
weeks.
list?
It will be a complete list of all the senior activities will be included in that. So you just have to look through it. And it'll actually be more up to date than the paper that we were struggling with because of COVID. Everything in there is going on during COVID, our COVID era.
All right, so it's going to list only those things that are currently going on, not what the city intends to do or has done or has proposed to do as soon as we can get together again. I guess I'm just trying to find out a general, probably more than general, what, you know, specifically what is being done or has been done or is proposed to.
I mean, we have a collection of old heralds and 60 pluses, and I'll be happy to bring them to you, and you can look through it. I mean, I think those things are, all that information is available online as well, is it not? That's a question, not a statement.
Under what? Under the, in the Herald, you mean, online? Is that what you mean?
Herald online in And the 60 plus online, can you not get that through the Huntington Woods website?
I don't think 60s, is 60s plus online? It is? Okay, I stand corrected. I see
Okay.
Claire going like this.
So, you know, that's been out there and that's out there, and it just takes time to look through it, you know.
If you go under to departments and go to the rec center and then under senior services, it has the 60 plus transportation, the heart program, all the information, reassurance calls, all that has everything on there.
What
Okay.
we don't want to do is reinvent the wheel 3 times. We've got this out there, and we just need to keep sharing with people how to find it and share that with your friends and neighbors, and we'll make that work. Okay. Anyone else on that? Great. Project updates. All right, number A, the senior student programs was tabled, but we had this great event about a week or so ago where the kids from the high school, the National Honor Society students, helped out seniors with technological training. And it was for 2 hours, and it went very well. And there's some questions were raised about the times. There being a conflict with the Zoom that occurs for a lot of seniors on Sunday. And so the times were modified for the future. There are 3 more dates. And by the way, if you have an issue with something like that, call me. You can text me. I do have an email now. I'm not real good at returning the email because it's on my little old phone, and it's very painful for me to reply on that. But everybody has my number, and if you don't, I'll be happy to give it to you. It's 248-763-4940. And that works. And I know how to get back to you on that real well. The new dates, the revised dates for 3 more sessions with the students is March 24th, which I believe is next week, 2 to 4 p.m. We did one during the week. Then April 18th, which is a Sunday, from noon to 2 p.m. And then May 16th, which is a Sunday, from noon to 2 p.m. Now, we've told the kids in the past that, to expect to have, 20, 30 minutes with a person, 30, 40 minutes. I know some of the kids, including the one that helped me for 2 hours. So I'm so dense at this, but it did make a difference. Although it didn't help me today, I couldn't get into the meeting. But anyway, that's what's happening with this kids helping seniors for this spring. After that, it's too difficult for them. They have finals and graduations, this, that, and the other thing. So we're running from March through May. And if people are happy about it, I'd love to get feedback on it, and we can set up for next fall when the kids are back in. Any questions about that, Susan?
Not a question. It was really good. I've only got, well, it was only one, but I was really pleased with them. They really tried to, I think they really tried to listen. We broke off into little groups. I had to leave, but I think it was a really good, it went very well, and it was a good idea. Thank you for doing that. And I'm sure there's more of us that need more help. So
Yeah.
whatever they're willing to give.
Because of the COVID, they had to go one-on-one with the Zoom. It's almost impossible to do this with more than one person on Zoom when you're talking about people who are not doing this real well. So it was great. They were so helpful. If you think you're going to do it, let us know, so we can let the kids know how many kids to expect. Because it's harder and harder to find kids as they get to the end of the year, and they've had a crazy year with COVID, and they're trying to do so many things, and they've missed out on so many things. So if you're planning to do that, please let Jen know.
We have to let you know for the other meetings too now, Jen?
Yes.
Oh,
that'd be great.
glad you said that. Thank you.
Yeah. please contact Jen, let her know. It's the senior hotline number. She'll call you back if you don't get her. And then that'll give us about a week beforehand. We can tell the students about how many people are interested and see how we can divide the kids up who are able to do it, and then allocate the proper amount of time. You
So
know,
Lenny, can I ask a question? In the flyer that Colette did on May 16th, it says that they're supposed to contact Mia and Morgan, not Jen. So why, I just wonder why you're saying now they should call Jen. Because that's not the way it's written up in this Older Americans Month flyer thing.
because that hasn't gone out.
You know
yet.
what? Any contact would be okay.
Yeah, okay. So
That's fine.
either you or them would be
Right.
fine.
Right. This
Okay.
flyer hasn't gone out yet.
I know, I just wonder why it wasn't
You're
consistent. with
breaking up
what
and
you
I
were
don't know if
I just wondered why it wasn't consistent with what you just said about contacting Jen when this flyer said contact the kids directly. That's all.
Okay, because I don't have it in front of me. That's probably why.
yeah, and that flyer didn't go out yet either, but you can contact me and I can put you in contact with them if that's
So
easier.
contact the kids right off, and they'll know.
That
And then get us the
flyer,
things they
that
can.
flyer was emailed out.
The flyer
Oh,
was
to everybody?
Okay,
Okay.
that's why I didn't see it, because it's
Oh.
email. Okay, beautiful. All right. Older Americans Month activities. Heidi, would you like to share the one that you're pulling together? We have
Yeah.
a number of things planned. And Heidi has a group that's going to be doing a senior variety show, and I'm really excited about it. So maybe you can share this a little bit.
Yeah. Okay. So it's the OPC Players. It's the Older Persons Commission in Rochester. And we have a group that performs. I've been in it since 2013. They do a couple of big shows every year, but that obviously didn't happen last year. And they're always variety shows, at least to date. And it's always got dance and singing, a lot of singing, some comedy and acting sometimes. I don't think we're going to do any acting this time, but I've been working with them and we've got a whole lineup of people. Should take an hour or so to do the performance, and I'm excited because we got really good people to be in it, and it should be entertaining. It's obviously geared to seniors. We've got a whole range of genres that we're covering, some Broadway, some pops, some country, some doo-wop. We got basically everything in their standards. So hopefully it'll appeal to a lot of people. A little bit of dancing, but something I did want to talk about later is that park is a little bit, it's a little bit challenging because there's a lot of uneven surfaces and stuff. So, but I think Lenny and I, when we were there, we kind of worked out how it's going to be set up. And it should go, fine. It should be okay.
Great. And that's going to be on Thursday, May 6th.
Right.
From 1 to 2:30 in the afternoon. And it's going to be at the gazebo near City Hall. Of course, I want all of you to realize we are doing this all around COVID.
Right.
In the future, theoretically, a variety show like this would be indoors.
Right.
Would be in the rec center. It could be in a lot of places, but not on the pavilion, outside the gazebo. But we're trying to make it work, and we're trying to have fun. And you know what? Damn it, it's going to be Older Americans Month, and we should be doing our thing, whether it's COVID or not. And tell your neighbors and friends, and please bring them along. We've got a half a dozen or 8 or 9 people coming to perform. I hope we can provide them with 25 of us to be there and cheer them on. It should be fun. Claire.
How are you setting this up for people to sit, and are you going to bring?
We're going to have chairs and picnic tables, and they're going to be spaced 6 feet apart. Everything's going to be COVID observed. If you go over to the,
I know that area very well. I can't imagine.
okay, if you let me finish, I'll explain how we're planning to do it.
Mhm.
To the if you step out of the gazebo and go towards City Hall,
Mhm.
about 3 or 4 steps, there's an area there which it's about 10 feet wide, and it's about 2 sets of concrete deep, so it's about 10 by 10. And there's trees behind it, so you're kind of screened from that street, whatever street that is. What is it?
Kingston.
Kingston.
Okay, you're kind of screened, and that's where the center will be. We're going to use one of the buses. We're going to put the large. We're going to put the large.
We're not.
For
We're not
changing?
going to do that. What are you talking about, the costumes and all that?
Yeah.
No, we're going to change. Amy approved using the restrooms in City Hall for us.
Oh, I thought.
And I think that'll be a little more senior friendly. And we really do need restroom access. I mean, I don't want to be, go into detail, but some of us have issues, diseases that we really do need restroom access. So we're going to be changing in City Hall in the restrooms.
Okay, I
think that'll be a lot easier and a lot more private.
Yeah, I thought you had
for
indicated, Heidi, that was too far away to change clothes real quickly, but if that works for you, it's fine.
No, not at all. I mean,
Great.
I have the lineup staggered. So most people, especially costume changes, I'm going to keep that in mind and who comes on when. And if people have costume changes, I'll just try to space out the performances. So the lineup will reflect that. It'll work out.
Then Tracy, you can let Steve know he does not have to move the buses. Okay, everything can sit right like it is. It's great. So anyway, that area is going to be where the performance will be, and then people will be sitting on the grass and on the sidewalk area, not the sidewalk, but the pathway near the shuffleboard and on the grass, so they can face them, and we can space the chairs and tables out so there'll be plenty of whatever. And the backup acts will be in the gazebo waiting to perform or something like that. Okay, that's on Thursday, May 6th. Then on Tuesday, then on Saturday, May 8th, Saturday night, May 8th, be there and be square. We're going to organize this so that as many seniors as would like can meet at Republica at 4:45 on that Saturday afternoon, early evening. We're going to have dinner there, and then we're going to go to view Mamma Mia at the Berkeley High School parking lot. They're bringing a stage in because obviously they can't do it indoors. And that weekend is going to be Mamma Mia, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday afternoon. And I'm guaranteeing you right now, it will not rain. So we're going to have a good time. If you can let Jennifer know if you can make it. And if you'd like to, I just was on the phone today with the lady who owns the Republica restaurant, and she's happy to let us use the outdoor service area in front of the restaurant. It's over on Coolidge near south of Catalpa, and it could be a lot of fun. It's a family-owned business. I'm happy that we can do something for them, and I'm glad they're doing something for us because they do not take reservations. But I explained who we are and what we're trying to do and how we're trying to support the kids at the high school, and she was very gracious. So we'll just need to know about a week before who wants to do it, and we'll tell them how many tables we need. It'll be great. And I will try to negotiate the best price I can for tickets to the performance, but it's been a rough year for the school and the school kids, so whether we can get a discount ticket, I don't know. Even though we have Berkeley Bear cards, I have a call into the Carolyn Creeder, the vice principal, who we almost got to do Greece last year, but COVID canceled that one. So hopefully that'll happen. Then on Tuesday, May 18th, is when we're going to have our meet and greet with the city leaders and the commissioners and the supervisors of all the different areas of Huntington Woods. And so letters going out to all of them next month. Greg's put the letter together with some help from people on our committee, and we're real excited about that. Real excited. And that's going to be at 6:00 at the gazebo area, and we'll set it up somehow, probably pretty similar to the way we're doing the dance performance. And next year, it'll probably be at City Hall, but we're not going inside City Hall this year for COVID restrictions. Then Then another thing that we're doing is on Wednesday, May 26th, and that's from 12:30 to 2:30. And there's going to be information coming out on all this. It's really kind of cool. But we're going to have a festive gathering of a senior artistic salon. And there's going to be art on display. We have an artist coming in who's going to actually do a drawing, make a drawing. We have an artist coming in explaining her artwork. She's a senior citizen. Everyone is a senior, or the artwork is about seniors. And we have a senior citizen who's going to is a jazz musician, and he's going to be providing music and explaining all about what music has been for him in his life. And we also have a woman who's done some charcoal renderings of senior citizens, and she's going to speak about her work. And then there'll be some snacks and drinks and meet and greet with the artists, and it should be a lovely afternoon. And that's going to be in the parking lot right next to the library, and it'll be blocked off so that there'll be plenty of room for us to watch our performers and enjoy some nice time. And if it rains, it will happen the next day at the same time, same place. So you'll be getting this stuff in the mail. It's all coming out, and it's kind of exciting. And I think, and I know Colette has put together something that looks like this, and it's a 3-page flyer. I don't know if you can see it, about Older American Month. And in addition to those 4 items, which we're kind of putting together, there's going to be a number of other things that are all going to be a lot of fun for seniors. So it should be a hell of a way to start the brand new idea of Senior American Month, Older Americans Month in Huntington Woods. So we're pretty excited about that. Any questions on this? Anybody has anything they want to share or suggest, or we're all ears?
Sounds good.
Okay, I hope so. All I can do is ask you all who are here to share with your friends and neighbors. If we want to have fun stuff, we need people to be there.
Yeah.
The price is pretty reasonable. We can't get the tickets to be any less than they already are, which is free, but you'd have to register. So please tell your friends and neighbors and join us, and we can make this COVID time a really good time for all of us. It can be fun. Susan.
How is you said the information's all being sent out. Again, how is it being sent out?
Someone want to address that for me, please? This is on the e-blast?
Well, you mentioned a whole bunch of activities, so.
Colette, are you still there?
Yeah.
I am.
Okay.
Obviously, the best 2 ways to get any information from the city is in the newsletter and the e-blast, and it will be in both, as well as emailing to the entire rec department emailing list. And then, like Lenny said, if anybody has additional people that they can email out to, we hope to hit as many people as we can.
Is the e-blast the same as the newsletter?
No, the e-blast, if you're not registered for it already, Susan, I would highly recommend it.
I get that, Colette. That's every week, right?
Yeah,
Amy, you're
every
saying.
Friday
Okay.
that Amy does.
So is the newsletter the quarterly one? Is that what you're referring to?
Yes, the Hometown Herald, and that will be in mailboxes in mid-April, and that will have all the information.
And to add to that, I'm gonna send out an email to 60 plus that we have in our software system on how to sign up for the e-blast if they're not already signed up.
Great. And again, there's going to be plenty of time. Fasten your seatbelts. May's going to be a great week, a great month, and we should have some fun. By the way, Amy, we're sending a letter to the commissioners and all, and for their April meeting. And is it possible that some of us or one of us, I'd be happy to go to the meeting to personally invite them at their commission meeting? Is that something that can be on the agenda? I don't know how that works.
Yep.
So we have the letter that we're sending to them, and then I'd make a personal invite to them, and I'd be happy to call on the different department leaders throughout the city. Since I am unemployed, I have time.
Yeah, take care of
Great.
that.
Okay, thank you. HARP and concierge program.
There's no update on that. There's been no requests since the last meeting.
Okay.
And it's still pretty much on hold anyways.
Yeah, COVID is pretty much things on hold.
Yeah.
Okay. Communication update.
That was the information that I sent out encouraging everybody that's on this committee to do sign up for the e-blast and tell your friends and neighbors about it so that we can get the word out as much as possible. We still run into people that aren't aware of it. So you're good ambassadors as representatives for the committee. So please make sure you're signed up and encourage others to do it as well.
And since buildings are closed and it's hard to do things, this e-blast is a big deal. It really is it allows people to keep their finger on the pulse of the city. And it's hard to do this during COVID. And so we're doing these other things to try to make it as easy as we can to still have fun and still get together the best that we can. Masks 6 feet apart, blah, blah, blah. Okay. Recreation department and library. So rec department, Tracy, have you got anything you'd like to share?
I think you guys are covering it all with the newsletter and the 60 plus and everything getting ready. So definitely check out that Hometown Herald newsletter when you get it. So.
Okay.
And you should check with Jen on what activities she's been doing as well.
Yeah. I have still been doing the birthday calls in cards. I got a couple of days behind on the last few, but most we're up to date now. But I found out a lot of different information from people this month. I've had someone tell me, I get a lot of phone calls from the city, but never one as pleasant as this, because it was just a happy birthday call, just to check in, see how they're doing. I've talked with this poor gentleman who broke his leg. We talked for like 20 minutes, but he was so thankful to get the call on his birthday because it brightened his day. And he told me all about he broke his leg and now he made friends in the neighborhood. And so the calls have been going really good. Still meeting so many people I didn't even know exist in the city. I also touched base with some of the adopted grandparent people, and they love it and they would like to do it again if we wanted to do a second go around. Some have continued to stay in touch and some have not, but all good feedback on that. The daily reassurance calls and the birthday calls, when I do call them from here forward, I will be mentioning all of the upcoming activities starting in May, including the Monday Lunch Bunch, which we are going to try and run again. It will be outdoors at Gordon Hassick Park, social distance, mask, all that stuff. So a flyer will be going out on that. I have speakers booked from May through September right now. Hopefully it goes well. Hoping to start blood pressure back up fairly soon. We finally got a note that we can do homebound seniors for the COVID vaccine. There is a little bit of a wait, but it's out there and it's starting. Oh, to go back for a minute, when I do the calls for the birthday calls, so many people are telling me that they've already got their first shot and they're on their way to their second. So that's good to hear too, because they feel relieved.
Right.
Yeah. So the bus is not up and running yet, still using Smart Connector, but so far it's been going okay. And I've been getting a lot of calls, and Claire, I don't know if you know anything about this, but I've been getting a lot of calls that people want SACRA appointments and they are having a difficult time getting an appointment. Do we just have to keep trying? Do you know anything about that?
Somebody told me, let me see if I can find out the best time to call on that. Somebody was telling me, let me work on that and I'll see if I can
Okay,
get
thank you. Because I've been getting a call, calls on that often.
It's hard. it's hard.
Yeah.
I
So-
need to contact them about something else, so that's a good excuse.
All right. Well, thank you very much. And besides that, just keeping busy and keeping in touch day to day. Something new arises every day. So,
Hey,
but
Jen,
yeah.
will the Pen Pal program begin again next year if the school opens for the year?
I don't see why it can't.
Okay.
Yeah. I would definitely look into that. I mean, hopefully it can start back up again because I know it's a fun program.
That's great. It's just
Yeah.
great.
So I think
Susan?
that's it for now, unless there's any questions for me.
Susan, you had a question?
I do. I'm sorry. I know I'm coming up with a lot here. You know, Jen, I thought that, by the way, thank you for my birthday call today.
You're welcome.
It was very sweet of you. And you know, that call really is very nice. Can I ask, are you the only one making these calls?
Right now, Lenny has helped me out in the past, and if I do get behind, I will reach out to get help, but it's not
Well-
really that overwhelming because, you know, there's like for March 1st, there were 3, and then there were not any again until March 4th, and there was 2. So it's not very overwhelming, at least not yet.
All right. Well, let me just, you know, a thought just popped in my head. I don't know. This may have come up before, but, and from a legal standpoint, Amy, I guess you would surely know this. I guess if we could help with phone calls, some of the seniors, I know even from the seniors that meet on Sunday and on Wednesday, it's also a good, like a senior to senior phone call. Obviously, we have more in common with each other. And I guess in some ways we could also reach out towards other seniors, meeting other seniors and telling them, sharing some of the things that are going on. If anybody, just a conversation, not just the birthday, but just a conversation, to talk with a senior to senior, see if they have any problems, because I know there's so many more seniors out there. We have a really high percentage of seniors there, and we can find out some of the information like you just did about a gentleman whose leg was broken. I know there is somebody involved in our regular meeting group on Wednesdays and Sundays whose husband injured herself, and she said, you know, she really didn't even know who to turn to, and now she's met more people. Just the thought there, senior to senior phone calls, but it would mean sharing information that I'm not sure if you're allowed to do.
Amy, can you address that, the personal information component?
I would think that Jen would open up the door and ask them if they would be interested in having contact with other seniors. And then if they say yes, pass that information on. If we say no, you know, birthday wishes are good enough.
Right.
Yeah.
Leave it up to them.
And you know, we did this birthday thing as a way to kind of put a hook
Mhm.
to connect with people under the address of a happy birthday. It's pretty hard to be upset with somebody for calling up and saying, hope you're having a happy birthday. We want to wish you that. I mean, but that's our hook to try to build a connection. And that's a great idea, Jen. I think you could easily incorporate that. Would you like to have, you know, another senior from Huntington Woods call you periodically or weekly or monthly or annually or biannually or whatever? And
Right.
then maybe we can funnel that to Susan and some of your peers who would like to make some of those calls.
You know, again, this is how we had gotten together to begin with, the seniors. Some of us, I've met, gosh, I've become friendly with so many of these faces on here right now that I know. And it was because we got together, and it was because we had commonality in our old age.
Okay.
So it was just like you said, it is like a foothold, but if we can help you at all, Jen, so give it some thought.
Absolutely.
It's a great idea. You know, it's just a great idea. So you're the focal, you're the whatever point, the pinpoint or the fulcrum point or whatever the heck it is. So you're the contact, Jen. You got the license to call people and say happy birthday, and then you can share it. Great idea.
I
Melissa.
first of all wanted to say that one of my clients that I see with my job got a call from you, Jen, and it was not for his birthday, but just in general, and it was really well received. So
Aw.
kudos to you. I appreciate that.
Right.
Thank you.
And I'm wondering about the COVID vaccine. So should we have people call you if we know of homebound seniors?
Yes, I mean, you can. I mean, I have the number and the website for the homebound seniors, but if they want to call me, that's fine too. I can give you the phone number if you'd like.
Yeah, if you can forward that to me, that would be awesome.
Sure. I can do that. No problem.
Anybody else got anything for Jen?
I have a question. Jen,
There.
Lunch Bunch has tended to be a much older population, although I'm going to try to push it for a wider range. See if we can build that up again. Will it be set up for people who are in their 80s? And I'm thinking
No, I would like it to be set up for anybody that wants to come.
So
Yeah.
somebody like,
I mean, obviously seniors, but definitely.
No
you know.
children allowed.
Well,
I mean, I'm thinking about Margot Ephros, for example, who's pretty good, but I'm a little concerned about walking on uneven.
yeah, I actually talked to her for half an hour today and told her that the Money Lunch Bunch was coming back and where it would be. And she's familiar with that and was talking to me about her assistant helping her and everything. But yeah, no, I mean, I would like it to be open to any senior. I would really like it to get back up and running, not just have the old seniors.
No, that's why I said I'm going to try to push it to a younger crowd.
Thank you very much.
I had a question. Oh, sorry.
She wants us spring chickens to go there
Yeah,
too.
us youngsters.
I want you guys to be there too.
I had a question that I asked Colette, and she told me that it was about, can you come to the lunch bunch but not get a meal? Because I'm sure I couldn't eat like anything. But she said that you'd have to just respond to you directly instead of this, whatever the RSVP was in here, pre-registration. So I don't know if there's a way to do that and say, I don't want the lunch because I don't want you to do a lunch if I come and don't eat your lunch.
I'll sit next to you and eat your lunch.
What?
I'll sit next to you and eat your lunch.
Okay, you got it.
To answer your question, all of the RSVPs for Monday lunch come straight to me, whether it's to my phone number or to the Huntington's Cares. If you want a lunch, great. If you don't, just let me know. You do have to pay for the lunch a week in advance because I have to pay, the food service. And then some people bring their own lunch. And then some people just come for the entertainment. With it being COVID, I would like to know who is planning on attending so I can be prepared, for social distancing and all of that.
Okay.
But if you do come and I don't know, I'm not going to boot you.
Okay.
And you don't pay if you don't want a lunch.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah,
Right.
it's free if you don't want a lunch.
Okay, thanks.
Mm-hmm.
Can you do any better than that, Jen? Free?
No.
Okay. Okay, anybody else for Jen and Parks and Rec? Okay, Joanne, library, can you give us an idea of what's taken there?
Well, this coming up, Andrew Nowicki, who will be here.
Can
And
you start
Andrew
again? You kind of blacked out there for a second. Can you begin again, please?
Sure. Okay. On April 21st, Andrew Nowicki will be coming. He's going to be telling us about our backyards and all the wonderful creatures, plants, animals, things that we can find just looking in our own backyards. I'm working on trying to set up a couple programs for the summer that will be in the evening and be outdoors. We're working, there are some details still that have to be worked out for some of those.
Okay.
That's it.
Oh, okay. Any questions for library?
Is there any plan for additional access to the library?
I got an email from Ann the other day. She's looking at starting things. I have no date, nothing in mind. We're beginning to talk about reopening and making better access, but I have no way of knowing when that can happen. When we shut down, we were only allowed a maximum of, I believe it was 12 people in the building, and that included the staff. So we would have been so restricted, it would have been really hard to operate. But we're looking at opening things up a little bit more. But I can't give you any dates. I got an email from her yesterday asking questions about what the staff would like to do, or what the staff's thoughts were at this point.
Okay, thank you.
I'd just like to share that I think borrowing books in the library has been great. You set it up, you call, you whatever, you email it, and bingo, it's out in the front door, and you just pick it up. It's great. It's just been great.
My
Yeah.
my frustration as a non-senior is all the pickup times are working hours.
Oh,
So
yeah.
there's no ability to do it.
Well, Chris, call me. I'll get the book for you.
I may do that, Lenny, now that you've
Okay,
offered.
you got it. You got it. I'm there every day. Next door.
I do know that we were running them, I think, from 2 to 6 on Tuesday evening. But that doesn't necessarily cover a lot of people who are working and can't get there until after 6 either.
Cool. Thank you.
Okay, anybody else for Joanne? Okay, public participation. We are open to the public for anything they'd like to discuss that pertains to us. Susan.
You know, you've been talking about a lot of social events that are being planned, which is really good. I really appreciate that. But one of the things I am concerned about, and I am asking for this group's help and opinion and help on exercise and a place to exercise. I don't know how familiar everybody is that a group of seniors, we have been working on trying to get a place and exercise equipment for actually several years now. And we initially did want it inside. We still do, but we're putting that aside for right now because apparently the city has agreed to at least set something up on the outside. But I guess since it's intended for seniors, I would hope that we would have some help from the senior advisory group. There have been some decisions made, and then now it's delayed. It's been delayed, postponed, really at the request of several seniors, because the original site that was decided upon, and several of us are unsure how that decision came to be, other than hearing there was a committee. The decision was that it was going to be at Reynolds Park. We were going to have to share it with young children and with children practicing soccer. It just was not the opinion of many of the seniors who are interested in this. And we know that exercise for seniors is also very important. And it also extends to the socialization aspect too, but let's concentrate on exercise. This is a really significant area, the thing that we're talking about, exercise. And it's important I know there's several people here right now that are on here because of this. So I want to know what the Senior Advisory Committee, since one of your goals, I'm assuming, is to do what you can for the seniors.
I can just speak to that a little bit because I did bring up with Colette, I didn't know, but when Lenny and I were checking out the senior park, we found out that it's not really the safest place for seniors.
Which park?
The senior Hassett Park near the gazebo.
No, it's not.
It's not. There are the shuffleboard courts, and many of the surfaces are uneven. And it's, we're having this concert and stuff there, but honestly, it's not very senior friendly to anybody with any kind of mobility issues. So
exactly.
That might be a big costly thing because it's removing cement. I don't know if anybody uses a shuffleboard court, but I think that park needs an overhaul. And I don't know, I know Colette said that, Men's Club already have a theme for what they're doing this year in their auction. And there probably aren't any city funds, but I do think that it should be put on the table as something for the future, because I think if you're gonna have a senior park, the site should be senior friendly, and it really is not right now. It just does.
Well, and we were, a bunch of us were talking about it, but you know, we can only speak right now for us, but
Right.
seniors, I'm sure there are other seniors out in our city. What are we, 40% from 60 years old and up? I mean, that's pretty high. Whatever the percentage is, pretty high. Well, according
It's
to
a high percent.
either way, it's high. And there are many more of us who really might like to be able to have an area where we can safely exercise without worry about having the little ones around who it's unsafe for them too. So yeah, at Reynolds Park, that's why it was set aside, but we don't want it forgotten. And the only way we're going to really not have it forgotten is to have the city's senior advisory committee working with us. I mean, you've got a wealth of information here. I'm certainly not pushing this because I've been out of my field for a long time, but I'm a retired physical therapist. You have others who are retired, our current occupational therapists, construction people who, recreation therapists, construction people who have the certification for handicapped accessible. I really think this is a very important issue for seniors. And I really would like to, I'm hoping that you would feel that it's important enough to work with us with resident input too. I guess, I don't know how the money's going to be spent. That I understand cities and towns are getting monies from that Biden, I don't even know what it's called, part of that package, stimulus package. You know, if that money is has already been decided upon how that's spent, doesn't matter. They were going to spend money for the park anyway and for seniors for the equipment. Let's talk about it in a serious manner so that when we do it, you do it right.
I do want to address this issue myself. I wrote a letter to Tracy and she didn't write back to me. She wrote back to
Sue Tanner.
To Sue Tanner, that's right. And
Bonnie, I just got your letter yesterday. So
I dropped it off a week ago Friday.
Yeah, I don't know. And it wasn't, it was addressed, which one is yours? There was no stamp. I don't know how it got here, but I just got it
in the city Dropbox.
Oh, that's probably why. I just got it yesterday. So that's why you have not heard back from me.
Well, let me continue if you don't mind.
Okay.
I think when the original design was to put the exercise equipment at the northwest corner of Reynolds Park, I think that would have been fine for the people that wanted to get the exercise equipment put in. It wasn't ideal, but there was enough space and it could have been done. But the soccer people who have their private organization really made a huge deal about this, that they had to have it. And as a result, we ended up at the other end. That's just not a really good location at all for a lot of reasons, really, for safety for kids, safety for the people that have to get there, the parking situation and all of that. So I too don't want to see the whole thing fall apart. But when I read the letter, Tracy, that you had written back to Sue Tanner, you had mentioned that Elgin Park was too small. Well, you know, actually that wouldn't be a bad location. There isn't anything there except old equipment that there is some talk about replacing. If we had a park that was designated just for the exercise component, that might be another alternative. The senior park is, you know, the Gordon Hassick Park, we do have the shuffleboard courts there, and that whole thing would have to be redone. You'd have to pull out the concrete, everything would have to be redone. And also there's the grassy area along Kingston. So whether that could be part of it, I don't know. That has its pluses and minuses as well. You know, if we could have had the thing inside to begin with the several pieces of equipment, that probably would have been ideal and the cheapest thing I can think of that we would have done. And I have another complaint. This is a complaint, actually, and I don't know exactly who this should go to, but we were meeting at the gazebo in the wintertime, even with this terrible weather, just to stay in contact. And those sidewalks were not shoveled. it was really pretty terrible because it was deep and it was icy, and I was practically going to bring my own shovel. So why would that even be?
Do you ask anyone to shovel that?
It's
Should
right on
she?
city, it's city property.
Should she have to, Colette?
I'm just wondering, because I know if it was brought to someone's attention that I'm sure they would have.
Well, and can I touch on this for 1 second? And I appreciate all of your concerns, and these are things that, you know, need to maybe be looked into. But before COVID, that senior park was used literally once a year.
Mhm.
So this is all kind of new. So, you know, thank you for the concerns, and I'm happy to always help. So if you ever need to call me, and, you know, I can get the ball rolling if possible for whatever your concern is. But I think that park maybe slips through the cracks a little bit because it hasn't really been used. That's just my opinion on it. But now it is being used more. So, you know, there are different things that can be looked at. Does that make sense?
Yeah, but that seems to be an area that, again, it still has to be modified. It might be okay for some.
No, I understand all of that. I just, it wasn't getting used before, I think, is, you know.
I think what I'm trying to say too is that people are trying to stay in contact with each other, even with this miserable weather. Wearing whatever we've got to wear, just so that you can see somebody in person with the mask and say hi. It's kind of a big deal. And I mean, we're braving the elements, we're going out and doing, you know, whatever we can. The whole point with the exercise equipment, it's not a playground. It's not meant to be, it's meant to be for work. The equipment that got chosen, I went, and I think Sharon went, Mark has gone. We went to several parks. I've been actually in Illinois to try the equipment out there. Went to Detroit. We went to Birmingham. We went to Hazel Park. Talked to the people that ran the equipment at Birmingham to find out how they'd gotten their money, and did people like it, and do they offer training, and, you know, how often is it used, and, you know, that kind of thing. And this particular equipment seemed to offer the most physical resistance that because we did want something that would be actually worth using, not just a piece of equipment that would swing back and forth and really not do anything at all. So it's really discouraging to be put off on this issue, I think. And I don't really know that the city seems to have a real dedication to getting this done the way that they are with the children's programs. That's my personal feeling. So I don't feel antagonistic toward the children or toward the people that want to use the parks, but I would like to see the same attention giving to our group of people, or people that are of this age, as everyone else. And I guess I'm feeling like we're just being pushed to the side as it's not necessary. Why would you want that? Why can't you do something else? And it gets lost.
And can I make one more comment on top of that?
Hang on a second. Amy, can you give us a little background? I know the men's club was committed to providing some equipment and this and that, and then COVID struck. Can you give us a little background from the city with the planning, what's happened? Because COVID has kind of derailed a number of things.
Did you say go over the numbers?
No, just kind of what's happened. The men's club they had mentioned us. They were going to be providing things, and then everything kind of stalled with COVID. Now, I just wonder, maybe you can address where things are at the moment.
We had selected the site at Reynolds Park. We did our best to accommodate needs of the adults that wanted to use the equipment and the kids that also were using the open space. I believe that the commission is going to relook at all of the parks to see whether or not there is interest in moving it to another location.
Good.
We need to get together with the men's club because they had selected that as their auction recipient, and so that puts that whole project on hold. So right now it's up in the air.
I guess I didn't understand that, and so correct me if I'm mistaken, because I thought this was green lighted, and then COVID put the halt to it. Because I mean, I do agree, because I would get similarly upset if we're delaying this project because of, you know, a quarter of an acre of soccer space.
Thank you. It would seem to me that there is no reason why a decision, an alternative decision can't be made fairly quickly if we put our heads together and actually look at alternative sites.
I guess the other question is are there other soccer areas that the kids can continue to play on? I saw one argument that we have to maintain passive space, but we have about 4 parks that are, I would call passive, where there's really nothing in them. So whether those are suitable.
What does that mean, passive space?
It's not actively used, it's.
Oh,
green.
Grass.
Yeah, it's grass.
It's grass.
Right.
Grass and trees.
Yeah,
No.
Sharon.
I just think, I feel exactly the way Bonnie is speaking. I feel like we've been put on the back burner. I feel we're not respected terribly in this city. I think the spot that has been chosen for us is terribly wrong. I think it would be maybe a good idea to even look at some of the parks within the more central of the city rather than on the outskirts. I guess for the reasons that some of them are very nice. I remember when Mary was doing her job and she said to us, well, you can't go to that park because the neighbors are all going to complain because they don't want parking. Well, you can't go to that park because we already have plans for that park. Can't go to this. And I said to her one time, why? And she said, that's just the way it is. Well, I'm sorry, but that is not a decent or fair answer to any of us. So I feel like we are not being listened to. And we are just a small group here, but there's many of us in the city. And I went with Bonnie. We went all over the place. We are the ones that brought it up to Mary to begin with. I personally don't even know if Mary was aware that there were even such parks elsewhere. I really don't think she did know. So I think we're really backward in this city in this sense. And I think we need much more respect than what we're getting. And how can somebody who buys a house in a park and then turn around and say another whole group of people who are still paying taxes like everybody else say, oh no, we don't want you over here? Where is the fairness there?
And I don't want to forget, I'm sorry, I don't want to forget what we really wanted originally was some areas in the in Parks and Rec for us to exercise inside.
Right.
I mean, this is Michigan. There's a lot of time that we prefer to be inside exercising rather than outside because of the weather.
Tracy is new to this position, obviously. And we were talking yesterday, and this was new information to her. And I kind of wondered if it was new information to a lot of people. But when the rec center was expanded, one of the big things is we did a lot of visioning sessions, and we asked people what they were interested in the rec center. And the whole thing was, there's such limited space. What are we going to do with our space? Let me finish, Susan. So it was, the gym was really important, classrooms were really important, and we really decided at the time, I can remember it very clear, the visioning sessions were that there were so many facilities that people could join that we didn't want to get in the business of running our own fitness center, and that because there were so many options, it was not made, the space was not made available. And I can tell you, as being someone in the rec center every day, we don't have enough space for storage. We don't have enough space for anything. I mean, we're busting at the seams. The thought of trying to fit some exercise equipment in this building, as nice as it might be, it's just not going to happen. It's just like the dog park. It might be nice to have a dog park, but there just isn't a place for it. And I kind of take a little bit of offense about Mary not doing her due diligence, because she really worked her butt off trying to make this happen and trying to make people happy. And for for it to be on attack now is, it feels attacking. Like we're trying, not we, because I'm not involved in this, but I do know the history, but trying to make a good thing here, and it's just getting slapped down. And I cannot help but think there's a Planet Fitness across the street that has everything and is kept up. I'm having trouble understanding why you want to keep putting 25 pounds of crap in a 10-pound bag is all I keep thinking.
Really? I mean, you think that we should have to go out and spend the money for, to go join something? What about the people who can't get over there even? I don't see why our city, there's plenty of other cities that are providing this. I don't know why the rec center can't be you can't look again. Yes, the plans were, but things change. Things change. Is the childcare
The
still?
footprint doesn't change.
What doesn't?
The footprint of the building. There's only so much
You're right.
space.
You're right. But just as the houses here, people look at them and they refigure them for their needs. The same thing with the rec center can be done. And in terms of asking us, the seniors who are now on, a lot of us on fixed incomes and some very limited for people, to be the ones to go out and join the various health clubs. I'm sorry, I really think that's unfair. Ask the
$10
working,
a
ask
month
some
at
of the
Planet
working,
Fitness.
ask some of the young families who are still working to go out and join some of these places. They have, instead of all the places for the children in this, and trust me, obviously, I'm not anti-children. I have my own, I have my grandchildren. But, you know, there has to be give for both. That's all I'm saying. And I don't think anybody's putting Mary down. Really.
Can we move on? The commission has heard their complaints. They're looking into it. We're not going to resolve anything today. So I really think we need to move on.
Yeah,
Fine.
I think you're right. I appreciate everyone with their comments.
Mhm.
Not all of us know the history of how things have come to be how they are. It's an issue that obviously we hear you want help resolving, and the commission is considering it, and we'll continue to look at it. COVID has put everything back a year. You all know that. There were plans to have things done. They got changed. Funding got changed because of COVID, the auction. I mean, you have to look at how this all comes together or how it doesn't come together. And your points are well taken and will be considered. And I think our committee can consider it as well. But we'll follow protocol and we'll work with the different parts of the city government, because to create something like this is a lot.
Right.
Maybe we need to
Right.
start more simple, like Hasek Park. I think there's a lot that could happen there, but it's time for us to continue to move on for the moment.
I do have a question about the COVID angle of things. I got my second vaccine in February, and so did my husband. Many of the people that I know, we are now fully vaccinated. So if I'm understanding the new directions, we really don't need to wear masks when we're with other people that are vaccinated. So are we still insisting on masks?
Yes.
In public
I think
places.
that's just a small group, you know, immediate. small
Yeah.
group.
I'm talking about similar people. I'm not talking about the population at large.
But in public places, you need to have
Yes.
masks.
Right, with unvaccinated people for sure.
No, even with vaccinated people, you're supposed to be wearing masks.
Exactly.
I just looked it up on the CDC yesterday, and that is what their suggestion is.
So that should address that question. Okay, any other issues that people are wanting to bring up before we close our meeting?
There's one issue that we have to address. I didn't even see that we didn't have the bylaws.
Oh,
I
So-
think what we'll do is the subcommittee met prior to this and they've given me a draft of their recommended bylaw changes. So why don't I put that in writing?
Okay, well,
and
let's,
send it-
if we could just have just committee members remaining so that Chris,
and
who
Melissa.
else?
And Melissa.
And Melissa know what we were talking about.
I think the public can listen in on the conversation. I was just gonna suggest I put it in writing and include it in the next packet.
Well, if
and
you put
add
up,
to the
if
agenda.
you share the screen, we can,
Sure.
Okay.
and I can go through it.
You mean this meeting, Laura, or next meeting?
This meeting.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Okay, so what we decided as a committee, and can you, let's see, can you make that bigger so we can see Heidi's recommendation?
I'd have to make it smaller.
Okay,
Is the yellow changes?
okay, so the yellow changes, except for C. We're gonna go with Heidi's wording on C. Make recommendations regarding senior services, comma, including those that enable seniors to age in place.
Period.
So I just think the committee should approve the changes, Amy. And then it can go in writing.
I mean, these look good to me. I can't argue with any of it.
Okay,
All of us on the subcommittee came up with this way to move on.
Yeah.
Just Chris, you and Melissa need to take a look and we can vote on it and then Amy can draft it up and it can be sent on to the city commission.
and up top, it says Article 1, purpose of the board. And this is not a board, so I suggested changing that to the word committee.
Sure.
Like that.
You good, Melissa?
Yep,
Okay.
absolutely.
I'm happy with
Want
it.
to make a motion to approve this?
I make a
Motion to
motion.
approve it.
Okay,
Second?
I second.
Okay. All in favor?
I,
Aye.
Aye.
All
Lenny, you
opposed?
seconded?
Sure.
I seconded, or,
Okay, Laura did. Okay, cool.
yeah,
Okay.
okay, thank you.
All right. We've taken care of that. Amy, you'll receive that. Now you can send it out to all of us and we'll take it from there.
Okay.
Okay.
That Amy, just procedurally, that was just a recommendation to the commission to change the bylaws, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Okay, everyone, it's been a long meeting. Is there anything anyone would like to add before we close?
I think you talked about it already, but the flyer that I put together based on all the May information, I want to thank everyone for getting back to me with their comments. It was so helpful and it looks so good and I'm really excited to roll it out to the public.
Looks great.
Great. Thank you, Colette.
Yes, of course. Thank you.
Okay, can I
I make a motion to adjourn the meeting.
I'll second it. All in favor?
You don't have
Aye.
to have
Don't
all
need
in
to.
favor, just somebody has to second it.
Okay,
We'll have to send them some Robert's rules.
yeah. Robert and John and Bob and Joe.
All right.
Thank you all for
We have
participating.
Lenny's rules.